I think of three things fundamentally. We talked about gerrymandering. That's hugely important. Campaign finance is a disaster. Not a whole lot I can do as lieutenant governor. We should redo campaign finance in the state. There's no question about that. And then there's dark money, Citizens United at the federal level. I have a very strong desire, if I'm given 10 or 20 years to work on this, I have a very strong desire to join that chorus to say we must change campaign finance because our democracy is in trouble. And the right to vote. The right to vote. The things that they do, discriminatory laws such as voter ID, and you can't take a day off, and purging people from the voter rolls, and all the things that Republicans are doing to hold on to power. They don't have anything to offer us, but they're in power, and that scares me. So they'll do whatever they need to democracy to stay in power. That's why I have a great sense of urgency. Do you have time for two more questions? I'm not sure who
There's someone up there.
Okay, we'll come over here. There's one hand way in the back.
Yes, sir. I'd like to go back, revisit school safety.
Right.
Okay, you said that you are against the Harvey schools.
Correct.
Okay, let me ask you, you've heard of David Hogg?
Yes.
Okay, what about Beto Polak?
No.
Okay, well, unfortunately, unlike David Hogg, Beto Polak, she was a victim. She was shot 7 times. And her father, Andrew Polak, looked at that situation over there at Broward County and Douglas High School. And he saw a lot of problems, what was going on. First one being an agreement made between the ISD and Broward County Sheriff Department and various legal agencies where they would not arrest and address problem students in the school in order to get their arrest numbers down. Now, problem number one, he came up with a solution, and along with Florida Republican governor, they created an act which addressed gun control, but also established a guardian program named after Aaron Fleiss. Aaron Fleiss was assistant football coach who's been credited as a hero when he gave his life shutting the doors of the students.
Let me
Okay,
not
now,
to interrupt, but just to keep things moving. But yes, I'm with you. I'll answer. I'll respond to that. Is there a question?
You said that you're not in favor of arming teachers and such. This guardian program, named after this assistant football coach, provides armed security guards within the schools. And
So let me.
it's not law enforcement
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. So let me.
Even one retired football player.
Yes, sir. Let me respond to your question, and then if I dissatisfy you, we'll have a conversation. The rest, just to keep things moving. I think I know where you're heading. Let me expand a wee bit in terms of my point of view. I said I don't favor armed guns and gunmen in the classroom. I think that's a bad answer. I also don't favor overreach. I mean, local control is important to me in the first instance. I mean, the first line of defense for school safety, I think, is the school board or the school district, and let them decide what's appropriate in the first instance for their schools. So I don't, as lieutenant governor, I don't have a strong desire to overturn decisions that they might make. However, I think where they're going to go is they're going to say we need more counselors, more trained psychologists. I happen to, in my own mind, think that's appropriate. But they need more money, and this is where I come in, is making sure that they have the money so that they can take steps. I don't want to dictate terms to school districts. I trust their judgment. However, they're going to need my money. Or not my money, what am I saying? They're going to need the state's money. So that's one. And then two, sensible gun laws, which would apply to the whole state. So that's my approach to school. And I don't know whether that was responsive to your question, but if not, we'll come back to it afterwards. I'd be happy to talk to you. Yes, ma'am, right in front of you. To debate? Oh, yeah, no, he's quite an amusing fella. Before we had any debate, well, he's amusing, but I'm mischievous. So I went over to Fox News. I cultivated them, and I said, do you realize that Dan Patrick has been raising everybody's taxes and lying about it? I mean, that causes Fox to melt down. That's all they care about. And I showed them in the budget where he raised taxes. And I said, he's been raising taxes and lying about it, and you ought to have a debate. And they said, yeah, this is a great idea, we'll do it. And Dan Patrick cut wind that Fox News, of all people, was going to be the first to do a debate. So he panicked and issued a press release. I'm not debating him under any circumstances. This is about 10 weeks ago. Well, he played right into my hands because Texans will not tolerate that. That's a very important position, and Texans will demand that he debate. So the answer to that is yes. If he doesn't debate, I think that alone will swamp him, because Texans will not tolerate a coward, and he's a coward. There's no other way to put it. Thanks for asking. Maybe time for one more? Yes, sir.
Yeah, on the natural resources, I know lots of oil and natural gas is being extracted. The state is supposed to collect revenue from that. And also protecting the environment associated with that. How does that really happen? Last time I drove through West Texas, boy, it smelled like Pasadena.
So let's talk. This is a great place to wrap it. We'll have a conversation about the environment and the oil business and the future and climate change. And it's really quite simple. It all rolls together as follows. First of all, climate. Climate change is real. Right now, I've made my living in and around the oil business. Thank you. And the oil executives were the last to agree, but they now agree. A little bit stubborn, but they're all on board. Climate change is real, and we have to do something about it. So I view it as a two-step process. Step one we can do right away, which is to get rid of coal-fired power generation, which is the worst, and immediately replace it with gas-fired power generation, because gas is so much cleaner than coal. You can do it now. That gets us partway there. Triage, call that. And the end state is renewables. And Texas ought to lead the way. We've got as much sun as you could hope for. We got as much wind as we can go for. We know the energy business, and Texas ought to be the technology leader so that we take the world to the next level in terms of renewables. And while we're getting from point A to point B, we have to hold our oil companies to the highest standards when it comes to our environment and safety. Some oil companies are good and safe. Some are fly-by-night. We have to hold everybody who does business in the state to the highest standards in terms of safety and protecting our environment. I can do that to some extent as Lieutenant Governor, but your Railroad Commission is awfully important. So vote for Roman McCallum for Railroad Commission. And I'm proud to say that I've been endorsed by the Sierra Club, and I'm very proud of that. And when I talked to the Sierra Club, we talked an awful lot about wetlands and our coast. We talked about storm surge protection. We talked about what happens if a Category 5 ever hit the ship channel. Lord help us if a Category 5 ever hit the ship channel. Not only would there be tremendous death and destruction, but all of those chemicals that would be released and would flow down into the Gulf. That'd be the end of Galveston. That'd be the end of our wetlands. That'd be the end of a huge swath of the coast that I cherish. And nobody's doing anything about it, so that's important as well. So, okay, well, I think one more, then we're out of time, I think. Yes, sir.
Straight ticket voting.
I support that. This is the last straight ticket voting.
Unless you get for the time being.
And then I think in 2020, we'll go to one time. I favor straight ticket voting. I think it's important. We'll fight for it.
Including judges?
Okay, one more. Then this is it, and I'll stick around. Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
Straight ticket voting, so the Republicans win because they have more Republicans in there than we have Democrats. And that we have to reach out to the Republicans that are very upset about what's going on, so they would vote for Democrats to relieve them.
Our president's doing that for us.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to wrap up by saying thank you for your time. But to your point, there are enough Democrats in the state to win. This is your call to action. My experience is don't try too hard to change anybody's mind. Go find people of like mind and get them to the polls.
Let's go!
Don't control the polls. So do all you can. Not go to the world. Take it to 5 people to the polls. The polls are telling us that we can win. Donald Trump is working extremely hard to help us win. Stay on it and
We're
let's
gonna
win
help
it.
him drain the
That's right.
swamp.
Drain it.